There we go. Welcome to the second live show of the League of Legends. I am your Commish AceCoach 704. A little under the weather, but still here to bring you what's going on in the League of Legends. First, we're going to start out with going around the league. So, this is where I'm going to talk a little bit about every team and try to be brief as I can. The Bills have been looking for an upgraded quarterback. Um, Still hadn't found one. They're looking for one. Black Knights have been out of town on an army assignment. That's why they haven't been playing lately. The Jets have been back, and we're glad to have them. They won 38-31 recently over I think the Dragons last night. Portland Lumberjacks, a stacked 98 overall team that was previously in Dublin, Ireland as the Celtic Tigers. Previously, before that, the New England Patriots. So this franchise has really moved around a lot. Denver Broncos, we've had a couple changes there. We have another owner in there that offered me some bullshit trade for Keenan Allen. I won't get into the details, but it was bullshit. San Diego Chargers have had a couple of tough losses here recently, but they do have a talented team. And they have a quarterback that's not being used. So if you need a quarterback, I'd reach out to San Diego and look at their backup. Kansas City has a ton of speed at receiver, and they're still looking for more. I don't know why, but whatever. Oakland Raiders. They've won a couple of games. We had some controversy in the chat. I'll talk later about that regarding them and the Chargers in their game. Cincinnati Bengals. I'm due to play them today, but they haven't responded to me as of yet. Hopefully we can get it in. We'll see what happens. Cleveland Browns, they've got off to a pretty good start behind Rashawn Kitchens at quarterback. See, I said it. Okay, you're happy now? I gave you a shout out. Baltimore Ravens, one of the co-commissions, has also got off to a good start. They made the old school Steelers quit. We knew it was going to happen anyway. I mean, shit. And in turn, we do have a new Steelers owner that's trying to trade every good player they have for what reason I don't know. To get name guys that aren't that great in my opinion, like RG3. But anyway, Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are still struggling, grind mode. You know, he hangs in there. I give him credit for that, but they're still struggling. Tough roster to try to win games with. Jacksonville Jaguars have Blake Bortles on the block. If someone's looking for a quarterback, you need to reach out to Jacksonville. Houston Texans were looking for a receiver. You know, he's sometimes hard to get in touch with, but be patient with him. He will get back to you. London Bulldogs. I don't want to put your logo anywhere. I think it's ugly, honestly. I really do. The Bulldogs have improved their team. They're a 93 overall team now, so there's some talent over there in London now to compete in that division. Over in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers, Sanzo has a ton of players he's been offering in trades. Don't give him shit because he doesn't need it. Arizona Cardinals have got off to a good start behind their new owner. They're throwing the ball a lot. Tyrod Taylor is among the league leaders in passing. St. Louis Rams have also tried to trade Ryland Mason a couple of times. For some reason, nobody wants a good quarterback. He's star development. He's I think a 94 overall or something like that. You need to reach out to the Rams if you're looking for a quarterback. Seattle Seahawks expressed interest in adding a receiver to their repertoire, saying that Dez Bryant is a punk bitch and can't catch anything. That might be user error, but still. Dallas Cowboys, we made a big trade the other day. The Dallas Cowboys picked up Donovan James at corner and Dante Fowler at linebacker, and I picked up Byron Jones and a couple of pretty high draft picks in the upcoming draft. Toronto Huskies have been playing well, especially on defense. They've been among the league leaders in team defense and going a long way in possibly winning that division. New York Giants are a very good team overall. They had a couple of tough sim losses and a tough loss to me, 16-14, which is a very ugly defensive game. We always have close games when we play. The Giants have also placed a couple players on the block. I know Dwayne Gratz was one of them at corner. Somebody asked about Odell Beckham. That's not going to happen. He's a real-life Giants fan. The Redskins have been interested in several players in trade talks. Rumors of RG3 going back to Washington. Are they true? Are they not? I hope not, because he's not what he once was. He's just fast. And, honestly, it's not worth it. That's just my opinion. The Dragons have placed several players on the block, including RG3 at quarterback. I believe their rookie is a better quarterback, and I think that's a good move for the Dragons. The Lions, Super Bowl champions, they're not playing well. They've been missing games, sim losses. Not even sim losses, just unavailability. And it's a shame because Detroit's a really good team. And I think if someone had them that was available to play, they'd be better than what they are right now. Green Bay Packers won a couple of games, a couple of high-scoring games, I believe. Of course, with Aaron Rodgers, you're going to put up the numbers. And the Vikings, after a tough start, they've come back and won a couple games in a row. Still have some talent on that roster. They've been looking to upgrade at receiver. So if you got somebody on the block, hit the Vikings up at receiver. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's a tough season for them right now. They were in the playoffs last year, but it seems like they kind of fell back into their old ways, having trouble stopping people on defense and scoring consistently on offense. Atlanta Falcons, we know that's a tough roster. They're kind of going through it right now. They're doing the best they can with what they got. New Orleans Saints, off to a good start. Much improved roster, very good defense. They're among the league leaders in defense. We just had a really tough game. We pulled out 14-9, and myself, Carolina Panthers. The past 3 games, we've had trouble in the red zone. That's been killing me. That's why I lost to the Ravens, and that's why these other 2 games have been close, throwing interceptions in the red zone. So I made a trade for a halfback I think that can run the ball, get those tough yards down there. I just need to use him and quit being a dumbass. So that's your around the league synopsis. Now, let's take a look at some of the stat leaders in the league. And we're going to focus on team stats, individuals, and then we'll take a look at the top rookies. So team stats right now in the League of Legends as this pulls up. Team leaders in offense, you got Portland Lumberjacks number 1, Arizona Cardinals number 2, Houston Texans number 3, St. Louis Rams number 4, and Oakland Raiders number 5. Top passing offenses, Portland Lumberjacks, Seattle Seahawks, Green Bay Packers, Carolina Panthers, and the Arizona Cardinals. Top rushing offenses in the league, Houston Texans, Oakland Raiders, Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, and Cincinnati Bengals. Keep in mind, some of these are affected by sims, fair sims, or forced wins or losses. So, the users that are playing their games, good job to you. League leaders in defense. Number 1, Portland Lumberjacks. Of course, they're 98 overall. It's ridiculous. Number 2, New Orleans Saints. Number 3, Toronto Huskies. Number 4, Cleveland Browns. Number 5, Oakland Raiders. Top pass defenses in the league. Number 1, Portland Lumberjacks. Number 2, Oakland Raiders. Number 3, New Orleans Saints. Number 4, Houston Texans. Number 5, Toronto Huskies. Top rushing defenses in the league. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings. Number 3, Carolina Panthers. Number 4, New Orleans Saints. And number 5, those hated and ugly Dallas Cowboys. Now let's take a look at some top player stats in the league. As we pull it up. In passing, now keep in mind, week 5 games are not completed, so these could change based on week 5 action. Currently, number 1 is Tyrod Taylor for the Cardinals. Number 2, Ryland Mason, who's on the block for the Rams. Number 3, Eli Manning for the Giants. Number 4, Russell Wilson for the Seahawks. And number 5, yours truly, your MVP, Cam Newton. Rushing yards, number 1, leading the league in rushing, David Johnson for the Cardinals. Number 2, Devontae Freeman for the Rams. Number 3, Gio Bernard at the Bengals. Number 4, Denard Tarpley, which is sim-affected for the Colts. Number 5, the fast and elusive Tree Archer. Top receivers in the league, number 1, Michael Floyd for the Cardinals. Number 2, Brashad Perriman, of course, for the Portland Lumberjacks. Number 3, of course, Odell Beckham, the cover boy for the Giants. And rounding out your top 5 receivers, the dynamic brother, I got to give him a name, but I don't know. The duo in Carolina for now. Kevin White and rookie Kenbrell Spain are your top 5 receivers in the league. Defensive leaders, leading tackler in the league, Eric Kendricks for the Giants, Ben Heaney for the Raiders, C.L. Moore for the Colts, Danny Trevathan with the Lions, and Harrison Smith with the 49ers. A lot of that's affected by sim totals. and as are the sacks. Number 1, Garrison Wade for the Bengals. Number 2, Trey Boswell for the Colts. Number 3, Santiago Knight with the Giants. Number 4, Rainey Cole with the Chargers. Number 5, Patrick Griffin with the Cardinals. Interception leaders. Number 1, Eric Kendricks with the Giants. Number 2, Casey Hayward with the Packers. Number 3, Eric Ryan with the 49ers. Number 4, Christian Kirksey with the Browns. And number 5, Anton Exum Jr. with the Minnesota Vikings. Alright, that being said, let's take a look at the top rookies in the league currently. League leaders in passing, we only have 2 options at quarterback. Only 2 rookie quarterbacks playing. Number 1, Seth Thompson for the Los Angeles Dragons. And number 2, Jamel Woods for the Redskins. I believe they're both very good quarterbacks, especially Woods, who's star development. If Washington doesn't want to play him, somebody needs to go get him, in my opinion. Rushing yards, not many here. Number 1, among rookies, Matt Scott for the Bills. Number 2, Tylan Smith for the Broncos. Number 3, Kobe Myrek with the Falcons. Number 4, Dontaris Cole with the Raiders. Number 5, Lucius Newman with the Jets. Receiving yards, we have a good race here. Number 1, the aforementioned Kenbrell Spain for the Panthers. Number 2, Evan Ash, the star tight end for the Broncos. Number 3, E.J. Dean for the London Bulldogs. Number 4, Marvin Graham for the Buccaneers. And number 5, Trevante Mason for the Bengals. Defensive leaders and rookies. Tackles, Rashard Landry's number 1 for the Colts. Number 2, Eric Ryan for the 49ers. Number 3, Rashawn Mason for the Rams. Number 4, Keon Nelson with the Colts. Number 5, Garrison Wade with the Bengals. Also leading in sacks is Garrison Wade with the Bengals. Number 2 is Patrick Griffin with the Cardinals. Number 3, the corner, Uche Murphy from the Saints. Number 4, the Leroy Rogers with the Cardinals. And number 5, Rashawn Mason with the Rams. Leading in interceptions, number 1, Eric Ryan for the 49ers. Number 2, Jason Harper, the good rookie corner for the Panthers. Number 3, Chioke Irvin for the Baltimore Ravens. Number 4, Jarvis Mason with the Toronto Huskies. And number 5, Uche Murphy with the New Orleans Saints. He got one of those interceptions off of me in the red zone. So, now, let's take a look at some standings in the league. And we're going to just kind of go through this overall and see where everybody is. Power rankings will be recorded after this video separately. I don't want to make it too long here on the live show. So, overall in the league right now, we have 2 teams that don't have a win, the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. One owner's been not playing, one owner just left, a new owner joined. That's usually what happens with these teams that don't have wins at this point. But there's still time to turn it around. This is not the time to play for next season. You can start out 0-4 and still make a run at a wild card spot. It's very easy. Teams with 1 win, Kansas City Chiefs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Indianapolis Colts, Black Knights of London, Denver Broncos, London Bulldogs. We have 2 teams in London. Hell, I didn't know that. Atlanta Falcons, LA Dragons. All have 1 win. Still time to turn it around. You look at your division. Your goal is you need to win your division. And at some of those divisions, I think you can still make a run. AFC South, I think, is still open. Couple others, I think you still have a chance there to turn around. 2-win teams, New York Giants, after an 0-3 start, they've won 2 in a row. Washington Redskins are 2-3, going the other way. They started out 2-0, they've lost 3 in a row. San Diego Chargers had a couple sim losses, they're 2-3. Minnesota Vikings turned around after a tough 0-2 start, 1-2 in a row. Seattle Seahawks 2-2. Houston Texans 2-1. Dallas Cowboys 2-3, actually playing their games. That's small round of applause for that. So those are your 2-win teams. They're right in the thick of it. 3-win teams, we got plenty of those. I'll kind of run through them real quick. Toronto Huskies are 3-2 after a tough start, being led by their defense and Blaine Gabbert at quarterback. Green Bay Packers are 3-1, talented team led by Aaron Rodgers. Baltimore Ravens are 3-1, really making that AFC North a really tough division to play in overall. Yours truly, Carolina Panthers are 3-1, with 1 point away from being 4-0. Got to get the offense going consistently in the red zone. Buffalo Bills are 3-1. Impressive start for Kyle. Cleveland Browns are 3-1. New Orleans Saints 3-1. Only lost to Carolina Panthers, which we play again after advance tonight. Jacksonville Jaguars, impressive 3-1 start in that AFC South. Cincinnati Bengals are 3-1, benefit of a couple of sim wins. Oakland Raiders are 3-1. Portland Lumberjacks 3-0, of course. Like I said, their team is really stacked. And the 4-win teams, the guys that have played this week and won. Arizona Cardinals are 4-1. I think they lost. Well, I know their loss came to the Vikings. I think that, yeah. But that might have been this week or last. No, that was last week because they beat the Bucks this week. The Arizona Cardinals are 4-1, and the St. Louis Rams, former Super Bowl champ Jay Sumter from the Jets, has now gone to the Rams and made them 4-1 currently after a close win over the Chargers this week. All right, so now a couple issues to address before we continue. First of all, I've talked about all the stuff in the main chat, and we still get stuff in the main chat. If you have an issue with your opponent, it needs to go in the DM. It's very simple. Everyone doesn't need to see all this crazy shit talking, debate, bullshit going back and forth, man. Send them a DM. Y'all work out whatever the issue is. If you can't work it out, we have 4 commissioners in this league. Myself, Jeff, who's the Portland Lumberjacks, Bruce, who's the Baltimore Ravens, who's the AFC commissioner, and Jimmy, who's the St. Louis Rams, who's the NFC commissioner. Out of the 4 of us, one of us should be around. You need to let us know through DM and talk about what's going on, okay? We talked about this PA cancel stuff. I mean, I'll tell you this right now, and I told the other commissioners this the other day. We got one person that's supposedly doing this, whatever. I don't even know if it's true or not. You know, I believe in correcting one person rather than rewriting the whole rule book for the league. Okay, it's never been an issue in 8 seasons. It's not going to be an issue. Okay, there was some evidence that was posted. I couldn't clearly see what was being said or accused of or whatever. But the thing is, everyone needs to take a look at the rules. And I may send them all out in DM again because I've been watching some streams and I've seen a couple of teams playing quarter defense when they shouldn't be playing quarter defense. It's clearly in the rules you got a defensive match your offensive formations. You can't just sit in quarter and play against I formation. It's against the rules. And in Madden 17, you're going to get burned if you do that shit, if you've been looking at some of the releases coming out on that. So, that needs to stop. And then all the back and forth in the chat's got to stop. It's got to chill out, man. Now, Old School left. He was notorious for doing it. I'm glad he left on his own because it was getting to the point where I was going to have to get rid of him. And I didn't want to do that because I consider him a friend. But, you know, sometimes, you know, you let this game get way too out of hand and it gets crazy. But anyways, besides that, I think everything else has been good. Just make sure you're scheduling your games when we advance. When you advance, you see the schedule posted. Let's just reach out to your opponent, text or DM. We all got phone numbers in our names. If your DM ain't working, just shoot them a text. It takes 10-15 seconds. Just knock it out. It's that simple. So, like I said, power rankings will come after I'm done. We're going to take a look at who's leading the divisions right now. And not really a playoff look because it's only 4 weeks in, but give you an idea of what you got to do. So right now in the AFC East, Portland Lumberjacks are 3-0, Bills are 3-1, Jets are 2-2. All 3 of you guys, I think you still have a shot at winning that division, although obviously the Lumberjacks have been dominating anyone that they've played. AFC West, you got the Raiders on top at 3-1, Chargers are 2-3, Broncos and Chiefs rounded up at 1-3 each. AFC North, the Bengals and Browns and Ravens are 3-1. That's going to be a really interesting race there to see who pulls that out. Because it could be a situation where one guy wins it and then the other 2 guys could be the wild cards from the AFC. So you could have 3 teams in one division making the playoffs. AFC South, Jacksonville Jaguars are on top right now. Houston has yet to play their game this week. Jags are 3-1. Texans are 2-1. Bulldogs and Colts rounded out both at 1-3. In one of the most interesting divisions, I believe, NFC East, the Huskies are 3-2 on top. The Giants are 2-3. Redskins are 2-3, and the Cowboys are 2-3. I think that's going to be a real fight to see who wins that division. I think, the new blood in the Huskies and the Redskins is going to push the Giants and Cowboys like they haven't been pushed in previous years where we didn't always have the most active people in those teams. NFC West looks like right now it's a two-team race between the Cardinals and Rams are both 4-1. 49ers and Seahawks are both at 2-2. This is a division of three guys that have made the playoffs before and been in the second round or deeper. And then the Cardinals have come in and gone 4-1. So that's gonna be a really fun division to watch also. NFC North, Green Bay Packers are 3-1, Vikings are 2-2, and the Dragons and Lions rounded up at 1-4 and 0-4 respectively. Looks like a two-team race there right now. I think the Dragons still have some time to kind of turn it around. NFC South, I think this is a two-team race between the Saints and myself and the Panthers. Saints and Panthers are both 3-1. Falcons, we have some struggles with that roster at 1-3, and the Bucs kind of struggling on defense at 1-4. So I think next week when we advance, it's a huge game between me and the Saints. I hate that we play so early, but if we can win that second game with the Saints, I think if we don't act stupid and Cam doesn't get hurt, please God, we can win the division and make the playoffs. So here's a look at your divisions right now. If you're not on Daddy Leagues, make sure you send me your Daddy League's name if you want to get on there. You can see all this stuff that I'm talking about, making reference to. Other than that, we don't have any openings right now, so it's a great job of getting your games in, and a great job for Bruce once again of having a full league at this point in the game. It's June. I mean, we've got one season left after this one, and to have a full league and for it to be active is a great thing. So let's take a look at last week's games, and I'll kind of briefly go through the stars of those games if I can find it. Alright, so that would be week 4. Alright, so the Cowboys knocked off the Buccaneers in week 4 action, 31-3, big rushing game for them. Giants knocked off the Colts in a sim, 31-6. Huskies defeated the Falcons with that good defense, 28-3. Dragons knocked off the Lions in a sim win, 34-16. Rams defeated the Redskins in action, 34-21. 49ers defeated the Seahawks, 42-28. That was the Dez Bryant is a bitch game. So let's take a look at some stats from the Rams Redskins, as I know this game was played. Rylan Mason really threw the ball well, 14-18 for 276. Redskins played two quarterbacks. Rookie Jamel Woods got his first action on the season in relief of Johnny Manziel. Both of those guys didn't really play that well. Nobody really stuck out in rushing. Tavon Austin, 4 catches for 142, and a TD stood out on the offensive side of the ball for the Rams. Defensively, Khalil Mack had 2 interceptions for the Rams to stand out. The Rams have said Tavon Austin has been available in trade, but my God, you got to give up your firstborn to try to get him from him, so I wouldn't even bother. Let's take a look at the 49ers Seahawks stats. Once again, the 49ers won this game 42-28. Case Keenum, 21 of 32 for 332 and 5 touchdown passes. Russell Wilson had a tough game. Threw for 347, but also threw 5 interceptions. 49ers had 2 receivers go over 100. Mike Evans 5 for 115 and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Matthews 5 for 128 and a touchdown. For the Seahawks, Jermaine Kearse was the leading receiver, 4 catches for 132. Defensive standouts. Harrison Smith for the 49ers had 2 interceptions. Eric Ryan for the 49ers also had 2 interceptions. I believe he's one of the leading rookies in interceptions. And that game played a big part in those stats looking so good for the San Francisco 49ers. Moving on, Bills defeated the Black Knights in a sim win 49-10. Chiefs defeated the Bengals 28-18. That game was played. We'll take a look at that. I remember the Bengals came in the chat cussing Madden, which is okay. You know, as long as you don't freaking lose your mind. In that game, Brett Hundley really threw the ball well. 19-22 for 250 and 4 touchdowns. Wow. His leading receiver was Quadarius Cole, young receiver at the slot with good speed. 4 catches for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. Andy Dalton looks like he got pulled or he got hurt, one or the other, because Sean Mannion came in as a backup, 10-18 for 183 and 2 touchdowns. His leading receiver was the rookie Trevante Mason, who had 4 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. Defensive standouts. Darqueze Dennard had an interception for the Bengals. Marcus Peters and Demetri Cunningham both had interceptions for the Chiefs, as well as Justin Houston and Mario Edwards Jr., both with big sacks. So that's a good win for the Chiefs. The Bengals were undefeated before that game. Paper champions, I don't know. A couple sim wins, I don't know. Time will tell. Jets defeated the Broncos 17-14 in a matchup of newcomers to the league. Take a look at that game. A.J. McCarron threw 4 interceptions, 262 yards though. For the Broncos, Brian Hoyer 17-29 for 196. No real standout receivers on either side. Defensively, Eric Pinkins had an interception for the Jets. Muhammad Wilkerson with the sack. For the Broncos, Dion Peters had an interception. Great rookie. Darrell Revis, the old man, old star veteran, getting it done with an interception. Chris Culver, an interception. And Nat Burhey with an interception. So despite the turnovers, the Jets were able to get it done against the Broncos, which is rare because you turn the ball over that much, you don't usually win. But pretty good defensive game there for the Jets, helping out their offense and picking up a big victory on the road over Denver. Continuing on in Week 4 action, Panthers defeated the Saints 14-9. This was a Monday night football showdown that lived up to the billing, as it always does between these two old warhorse veterans. Cam Newton 13-18 for 231. He did throw 2 interceptions. Both of those were in the red zone. Garrett Grayson 13-26 for 155. Receiving, Kevin White had a huge game. The young rookie Spain has been getting off it. This is Kevin White's game. 7 catches for 160 and a touchdown. No real standouts for the Saints on offense. C.J. Spiller had that 1 touchdown. They had 1 drive in the 4th quarter to cut the game from 14-3 to 14-9. Defensively, Kawan Short had a sack for the Panthers. Tavares Barnes, Cameron Jordan sacks for the Saints. Uche Murphy, the rookie, had an interception, and Kenny Vaccaro also had an interception for the Saints. Very good game on both sides there. Good defensive struggle. Don't see that a lot in Madden. It's always good to see. Good to be a part of those kind of games too. Raiders defeated the Chargers 27-7. Ravens defeated the Browns 24-14. Vikings defeated the Cardinals 20-10. We'll take a look at those games briefly, as we are running short on time on the live show. Derek Carr 18-25, 297 and a touchdown. John Scott had 2 rushing touchdowns for the Raiders. Logan Thomas, this is why you don't play Logan Thomas. 11-24, 205, 2 interceptions. Come on, man. Put the man in. You know who I'm talking about. Jalen Strong did have a TD catch for the Chargers. Defensive standouts, David Emerson had an interception. Jimmy Hill had an interception for the Raiders. No real standouts for the Chargers on the defensive side of the ball. And in our last 2 games, this is so annoying because it goes back to the the current week. I have to keep switching. The Ravens defeated the Browns 24-14 in a big AFC North divisional game there. Chris Taylor, young rookie quarterback, not rookie, he's a young quarterback, very talented. 17-24, 263, and the 2 touchdowns. Latavius Murray rushed for 91 yards. And also, he had 4 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. I don't like that guy. Rashawn Kitchens, 13-26 for 260, 2 interceptions. Leading receiver, the young rookie tight end Evan Ash for the Browns, 3 catches for 138 and a touchdown. Defensive standouts, Terrence Brooks had an interception for the Ravens. Leon McFadden had an interception for the Ravens. Sam Gray with a sack for the Browns. And Christian Kirksey, good middle linebacker, had an interception for the Browns as well. And in our last game of Week 4 action, the Vikings defeated the Cardinals 20-10. It's a big win for the Vikings going on the road and giving the Cardinals their first loss. And let's take a look at some standouts from that game. Terry Bridgewater, 19-27, 280 and a touchdown. Trey Mason, 61 on the ground and a touchdown. Tyrod Taylor, 12-20 for 215 and a touchdown. Michael Floyd, 4 for 87 and a TD for the Cardinals. Jairus Wright, 6 for 102 for the Vikings. Defensive standouts. Anton Exum Jr. had an interception for the Vikings. Darrell Washington had an interception for the Cardinals. Akeem Talib with a sack on a apparent corner blitz. And that's it. So, hey, thanks for watching the live show. This will be recorded, and you will be able to watch this if you did miss the live show. Appreciate everybody watching. I see one person. I appreciate that one person watching, whoever you are. And we'll be back next week on the live show, breaking it down. Power rankings coming after this. And then the new feature, which I will throw in here at the end. After each advance, I will recap the games the way I just did now. And we'll kind of break it up, and we'll make the live show more about a couple other things that I want to touch on. So thanks for watching, that one person out there. You watch this back in the recording. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.